Good evening. Seats tonight, and maybe a few other bits and pieces, but this is the last major thing right now. It's the rest of it is little bits of detail. So the race cars come with the tillet seats. We've got a sliding rail on the driver's side and a fixed rail on the passenger side. So yeah, I'm just going to get these built up off the car. Various spaces and stuff. I've seen the spaces over in this box over here. So get these built up. Hopefully these are a little bit less awkward than fitting the tillets were in this thing, where all access to the seat rails involved leaning right over and down there, which was a bit of a pain to get them set up, but they are a lovely seat, especially in the carbon finish that I've got in the Lotus. So yeah, I'll get to work with that and report back with some progress. Okay, so we'll do the fixed passenger side first. These are comically light, insanely light. Nice to know you've been held in with something robust. And then I get these two tillet packets with the usual tillet spacers that you get and a few fixings. Okay, we've got kind of labelled fixings here, but I've got no indication as to what NA, NC, ND actually is, because these packs here I don't have, I just have these little bags. So yeah, bit of figuring out to what's what, but we'll get there. Okay, that's the passenger rails bolted on. Really nothing to talk about here, just some cap head bolts, the tillet spacers underneath. Job done. Now this is going to bolt to the car underneath the floor with some kind of like spreader plate type washers. So I get the feeling finding these riv nut inserts might be difficult, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so figure out the driver's side now with the rail adjuster. If it was up to me, if I was racing with one of these seats, I'd want to look at putting fixed rails in the driver's side as well. In my opinion, these just end up wobbling around, but I'm highly likely to be getting a bead seat put in this car anyway because of how tall I am. But yeah, just to note, if I was building one of these myself, I'd probably be selfish and go with fixed rails like I did in the Lotus for the driver. Okay, some confusion here. The bolts in the packets don't correspond to the diagram at all. Apparently the floor design sort of changed this year. So we've got captive fixings underneath the seats. I think previous years had to mess around with nuts and washers and stuff. But what this means is the diagram's not quite right. So for the passenger side, you get, so you get 8 20mm bolts with a hex head. The manual says that they are cap head. They're not. These are the ones that go under the floor, so 4 for each seat, under the floor, spreader washer, up into the floor, then into the seats. That's those 4. And then you get 4 long cap heads, which are like 40mm, and then you get 4 25mm cap heads. I don't know which is for which seat, doesn't say. So I'm using the long ones on the driver's seat, and I use the short ones on this one. Both work, both have got enough thread, both have got enough clearance. Why they're different, I don't know. And then on the driver's side, because you have to thread the bolt through the runner, there's no room to get, split washers and stuff in. So we need to use Loctite on the driver's side. But that's kind of it. Once you've figured out which bolt goes where, it's not too difficult. Just taking a break from seats now that they're all railed up. And I've corrected the thing that annoyed me on last night's session, which was the discovery that the radius arm needed to be in the upper position, not the lower position like the manual says. Really annoying, because I had to take the wings off again and modify them with a slit in them. Yeah, just something I could do without, to be honest. But I've done that both sides now. Hopefully that's all good. Worst case scenario, if the regs changed again for next year and it's back into the lower position, then I can do it now. I've got the slot in either location, so it should be a fairly easy job, although the seat may actually, the seats would need to come out, so it's still a pain, but it is what it is. We will crack on, try and forget about that now. Hello, welcome back to the garage. Seats, I was ready for a fight with these. I'd read about them and I've fitted them into a Lotus, and I know that they probably just shouldn't be as easy as they are. Don't get excited, these seats are not fitted. Still a long way, still a fair bit to go, so kind of progress update. I started on the passenger side. I figured there was fewer variables, fixed rail, etc. And I just was struggling and getting grumpy last night, so I binned it off. So today I thought, I'll have a go at the driver's seat, see if it's a little bit easier with the adjustable rails, and it is. So I've had this seat sort of bolted in a couple of times now. Been taking it out to adjust the crotch straps and just get them something like the right length. And I'm getting ready for the final bolting in. One thing to note is because this seat has got an adjuster and this car has got the lowered floors, the adjuster has to fit underneath the bracket for the lowered floors, and you sometimes need to manipulate it a little bit. It's hard to describe, but it sort of makes sense once it's in. And the general tactic is the bolts that go underneath the floor, they're supposed to have a spring washer and this big spreader plate washer. If you can imagine with a decompressed spring washer, that doesn't leave much thread to bite into the rail from underneath. So the sort of tactic I'm using is a combination of using some longer M8 bolts just to kind of get them located in the first place, and then using the shorter correct length ones once I can bite a couple of threads to pull the seat down. Sounds daft, you would think gravity would do that for you, but the seat fit is so tight in the car with the chassis there and the centre console there, you do need quite a lot of force on it to keep it down while you're trying to screw in from below. So once you get a couple of these in, life is a lot easier. You get all 4 of these in, and then you can back them out one at a time to put the correct washers on, and then hopefully that's that done. For locating the seat, there's a lot of trial and error, shuffling it backwards and forwards until you can see the threaded holes through the holes in the floor, wherever they are there. Just takes a lot of trial and error, and then once you get sight of the holes, you can use a punch to kind of get in there and wiggle it around. So where I'm at now with this one, for instance, is that the hole is lined up. I don't know if you can see it on camera, probably not, but trust me, the hole is lined up. But when I put the bolt in, it just goes, because the seat's not quite flush to the floor. So having 2 people would be dead easy here, because you could have somebody basically sit in the seat and hold it down. But I just need to keep trial and error until I can get a little bit to bite on this bolt, and then that will pull the seat down. So anyway, it's a bit of a pain, but once you know a few tricks, it's doable. Another quick distraction from seats. This is an IVA cover to cover the filler neck. And I just need to drill and mount some grommets for a couple of holes, one to let the washer hose through to the washer bottle, and the other for the wiring for the washer bottle pump. So yeah, I'm just going to drill a couple of holes in here, mount these grommets, and then get this riveted into the boot floor. In the boots, I've stuck some grommets in. Don't know if you can see those. Yeah, there they go. So washer hose pushed through. Then I've just got a little 2-pin connector, so I just need to de-pin this, thread the wires through, re-pin it, and then the washer bottle will be mounting on this bracket, which I've shared a fixing for the rear wing. So get that mounted now, and that's another job ticked off. Okay, update. Not much videoing tonight. It's just been one of those nights. Everything's just been a bit more difficult than I wanted it to be. But as you can see, washer bottle is now in. This shroud is now in and screwed down. Tested the washer jets, works fine. And I've also managed to complete the passenger seat as well. So that's now in there, which is a great relief. It was very awkward, but it's in now. Hopefully it'll stay there for some time. So yeah, both seats done. That's a bit of a milestone. Harnesses in there. I think I mentioned before, I had a play with adjusting the crotch straps and stuff, so that's not a million miles off being actually usable as well. So What else have I done? Oh, I did another little job as well, which was just connecting up this LED rear number plate light. So that's all on, that's working. The only thing to report with that really is that, once again, it's not in the manual. I think the manual at this point just stops documenting stuff. None of the washer bottle stuff was documented. That number plate light wasn't. Not sure, I guess they just gave up. But the LED light, it comes with just two wires, exposed wires. So I just had to crimp some connectors on and connect all that up, so that's all good. Washer jets work, need aligning a little bit. So skipping ahead. I had a delivery from Caterham today. It's been a while since I've had one of these, but I ordered a passenger side impact bar. So the kit only comes with the driver's side, which is all you need for racing. You can go and race with just that. The passenger one is a recommended modification, which is all allowed in the regs, because it just protects this side of the car a little bit if things get a little bit argy-bargy. You know, it saves you damaging a skin or even the chassis. So I've got that. I don't know if I'm going to bolt it on yet. I think I might leave it until after the post-build check, just to allow me to get on with the other jobs I need to finish off, because I've only really got tomorrow night now to effectively finish the car, which I think is just wing mirrors. Get it down on its wheels, torque everything up, and I might just get the suspension geometry roughly in line. I don't know if they'll look at that in the post-build check, but I might, if I've got time, I might just get the wheels pointing roughly in the right direction. So yeah, we'll call it for tonight. I'll report back with potentially with a finished car.